We are continuing our study in the wonderful Gospel of John, now in the last chapter, chapter 21, verses 8 through 11, and by way of title, Getting Breakfast Ready. The fish have been miraculously caught, but they have to be brought to shore. There they find the Lord is cooking breakfast and asks for them to bring some more fish. Peter goes and brings the net ashore. Chapter 21, verse 8. Now the other disciples came in the boat, for they were not far from the land, but about 200 cubits, dragging the net of fish. A cubit, the Greek word is pekos, is approximately 46 centimeters, so 200 cubits is 92 meters or about 100 yards. John, as an eyewitness who was in the boat, told what happened in the boat, not what happened on the shore. He does not record anything about how Peter swam ashore, and we do not know what happened there before the other disciples arrived. The other disciples did not abandon the boat and the fish like Peter did. They decided to pull the net full of fish to the land. It seemed like the fish never got into the boat. Here the net with its fish are dragged to shore, and later in verse 11, Peter drew the net to the land. Chapter 21, verse 9. So as they got out onto the land, they see a charcoal fire placed there, and fish laid upon it, and bread. They'd worked all night. They were probably tired and hungry. All night they failed to catch fish, but there on the land, right on the charcoal fire, they see fish and bread. And they see fish and bread. Yes, again, the present tense is used, giving a more vivid, a more lively feeling to their seeing that fish there. This is the second fire like this in John. The other charcoal fire, the other anthrakia, was in John 18:18, where Peter was warming himself and denying the Lord. There are only 2 verses in the New Testament that have this word, again translated charcoal fire. Perhaps the smell and sound of that earlier charcoal fire came to Peter's memory, and perhaps the repetition of that word here is meant to remind us of the events of that other anthrakia, that other charcoal fire, when Peter denied the Lord. Chapter 21, verse 10. Jesus says to them, "Bring some of the fish which you just now caught." There were already fish on the charcoal fire, but he invited them to bring some more fish. He gave them opportunity to participate in the preparation of this breakfast. The command, bring, and the verb translated, you caught, are plural, even though in the next verse we only read about Peter following through and doing what was commanded. Chapter 21, verse 11. Simon Peter went aboard and drew the net to the land full of large fish, 153 of them. And even though there were so many, the net was not torn. Even though they were commanded to bring some of the fish they had caught, we only read of Simon Peter going onto the boat. Even though they were commanded to bring some of the fish they caught, we only read of Simon Peter going onto the boat. Perhaps he was helped by his co-workers. As Morris notes, there's no word alone in this passage. It doesn't say Peter alone went. It just says Peter went. So maybe his friends went and helped him, but it doesn't say that. Now, about these fish and the 153, we are not told who counted the fish, when the fish were counted, or why they were counted. Neither are we told whether or not there was any special significance to the number 153. But that has not stopped people through the ages from claiming to know what that significance is. Church history has quite a number of varied ideas about the special significance of the number of fish. Beasley Murray describes quite a few of those proposals. It looks like, reading Beasley Murray's summary of all those proposals. It looks like we could do an entire video describing all the various ideas that have been proposed about the 153. But here, just one example. A man named Rupert of Deutz, a Catholic theologian who died in the year AD 1129, he said that the 100 represented married people, the 50 represented the widow or continent, and the 3 are the virgins. Just as the number of the stone jars was recorded in John 2:6, in this verse the number of fish is recorded, 153. Perhaps it is better for us to simply understand this figure as the record of a fisherman who was surprised by the large number of fish. Perhaps the number was recorded to remind the reader that there were eyewitnesses there. Perhaps the fish were counted because fishermen like to count their haul, or so that the total number of fish can be divided up properly among all those that worked to catch them. Maybe, but truly, let's not run after spiritual interpretations that are strange and foreign to the context. John records that even though there were so many, the net was not torn, whereas in Luke 5, 1 through 11, an incident similar to this one, the nets began to tear. And so a summary of chapter 21, verses 8 through 11, the fish have been miraculously caught, but they have to be brought to shore. There they find the Lord is cooking breakfast and asks for them to bring some more fish. Peter goes and brings the net ashore.